Hello, everybody. I feel like it's been forever that we didn't do a live stream. Uh, we used to do these every 2 weeks. The last one was during KubeCon. And you know what? We had a blast. We talked to so many people at KubeCon that we decided to, let's postpone the live stream because this is what's happening right now. We're talking with people about GitOps. We're talking about cloud native stuff. We had a great time, but it means that we skip one live stream. But do not worry, folks. We are back today, and pretty cool, interesting topic. So I'm with John, and we're going to talk about Reloader. And you know what? Reloader, it's a Kubernetes controller. It watched some changes in ConfigMap and Secrets, if I'm not wrong. And you know what? That is the extent of my knowledge about Reloader. I know we use it within Kubefirst. I know it's a pretty cool technology. I know it's open source. So I was looking forward to that live stream because I want to know more about it. And it's part of the platform that I'm not quite sure how exactly it's working within Kubefirst. So we're going to learn more about this today. Always happy to share about like cool stuff, but also open source technology that people can use, or like they can use on their own project, or they can learn how we use it within Kubefirst if you're using Kubefirst at home.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Fred, I don't know. It sounds like you read the Stakehater Reloader README and have a solid entry-level foundation of how Reloader works. And I have great news for you. You're basically a Reloader expert already.
Okay.
Reloader is a super simple tool. We've been using it for about 2 years at Kubefirst. And it's just one of these tiny little utilitarian micro products that is extremely important to us because we're a GitOps shop and because we leverage external secrets operator. And I know there's a lot of other folks in the cloud native space that are using external secrets operator to late bind secrets into their Kubernetes clusters. And there's this pervasive problem with GitOps applications where, when you have an application that depends on a secret, and that secret's source of truth is not in your cluster, but it's outside somewhere. And maybe it's in a Vault cluster, maybe it's in your cloud secret store, but wherever you're keeping that secret on its permanent basis, you're using external secrets to pull that into your Kubernetes cluster. And that's good enough to get it into your Kubernetes cluster, but it's not good enough to get into your application. You need to restart your pods to give them a fresh lease on life. Mm-hmm. Let them pull those secrets or those config maps into their runtime, and only then will they have that update. So Reloader is just a tool that we use quite a bit. We almost never talk about it, and figured it was time to talk about it. So
that's true. That was a great idea. And you said like I'm an expert now because I read the README, and that project is that simple. But I'm coming from the Node.js world where like we have so many of those packages that are doing one thing simply, but doing it well. And I'm a big fan of that. Like, obviously, you end up like, especially when you do Node application, you end up with like so many packages to do like everything you need to do. But like each packages, they do what they do and they do it well. So I have the feeling that it's what Reloader is. So I'm a big fan of those kind of projects. Like it solves an issue, it does it well, we're good to go.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. This live stream, I fear, is going to be a little bit abbreviated. Maybe that's great news to our audience. We'll see how they react to it. But really, just wanted to showcase a little bit about how Reloader works, how to get a Reloader annotation onto one of your Kubernetes resources, so that it can react to changes to a config map or to a secret change, and then show a quick little live demo of watching it work, and we'll call it a wrap. Sound good?
That sounds good. And you know what? Like as much as I like your live stream, they're always like a little bit long, interesting but long. So we're trying that format now. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully that's going to be as exciting as any other live stream. So
all right,
do that.
Yeah, let's dive in. So the first thing that I wanted to call out is the GitHub project for Stakeator's Reloader product. They have a great README write-up about all the nuanced details of how you might need to get a annotation added to a deployment for a config map or for a secret, or how to do it for a stateful set or blah, blah, blah. They have all these different variations. And we do encourage our audience, when you're starting to look at one of the tools that we leverage on the Kubefirst platform, excuse me, to always look at the documentation from the source itself. It's available at github.com, Stakeator Reloader.
Wait, you mean some developers read the docs?
I know. Well, let's not go that far. There's usually somebody around reading docs, and the developers usually figure it out. So in order to demonstrate this today, this is a Kubefirst stack that we just spun up a little bit ago, and I heard some rumors about some GitHub issues today, so I hope that doesn't.
Yeah, crossing my finger, like they have some GitHub actions and some other issues, and we decided to do a demo on GitHub.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Demo God's going to be with us.
Exactly. So, we deliver Reloader to our management cluster, as well as to our workload clusters, the default templates that you'll get when you do a Kubefirst install. It will include Reloader in those workload clusters. Your management cluster also has the Reloader application included in it. And let's see, let's take a look at that right here. Really simple install. It's Stakeator. They keep their chart on GitHub. It's called Stakeator Charts. The chart itself is called Reloader. We're demoing today on v1.0.10, and that's all you need to do to get Reloader into your Kubernetes cluster. Kubefirst does it for you automatically in your management cluster and your workload clusters. But if you're in your own, Kubernetes cluster and you're maybe not using Kubefirst, this is all you would need to do to get that Stakeator operator into your cluster. And then once it's in your cluster, you have this opportunity where any resource that lives in that cluster, you can add an annotation to that resource and just tell it, hey, listen, there's a config map, or in our case, there's a secret. And this secret has values that anytime one of these values changes, we want you to do a rolling restart on the pods that are impacted by that secret. So to show that, Atlantis is one of those applications that has some of those secrets that are very important to always be right. Atlantis is a tool that we use to run our infrastructure as code. So when we change a secret, like maybe we're rotating SSH keys, or maybe we're changing a token for GitHub or whatever it might be. When you update that change in Vault, you are going to get that to automatically pull into your cluster using external secrets operator, but you need the pod to restart. So almost all Helm charts, and Atlantis is no exception.
John, can you zoom a little bit?
I sure can.
For
Thank you.
people at home.
Always keeping me honest, this guy. I appreciate you, pal. This Helm chart for installing Atlantis has a stateful set annotation where we're stating that we want to reload whenever a secret called Atlantis Secrets gets updated. So let's take a look at that in Argo CD for a second. So right here, let me refresh. I think my session timed out there. Yeah, it did. So if we take a look at the Atlantis components, and if you do a Kubefirst install, you can mess with all this stuff the exact same way. If we look at how this is set up in Git, you'll see that we have the application that we were just looking at. We also have this external secret that's pulling from the Atlantis secrets in our Vault cluster. So if we look at that over here in our Vault cluster, there should be a secret called Atlantis. And this has all kinds of super sensitive details about the platform that we've installed when you did a Kubefirst install. It has, in this case, it's a Civo stack that we created. So it has a Civo token. It has a GitHub owner and GitHub token because we chose a GitHub flavor of Kubefirst. If you were doing GitLab and AWS, you would have some slightly different secrets in here. No big deal. That's not the point. The point is that whenever we change values in this very important secret to us, we want Atlantis to restart. And with the Kubefirst platform, you're automatically going to get this annotation in here. But if you were doing this sort of on your own, you would want to make sure that your stateful set for your Atlantis pods all have this annotation saying that you want to reload whenever whatever your secret is where you're keeping your Atlantis secrets changes. No big deal. So let's go ahead and look at the Atlantis application. And here you can see Atlantis just has a single pod running. And it has been running for now 15 minutes if we pay careful note right there. So let's go to Vault. And I have this secret in here called new secret, which does not have a sensitive value in it. And I'm going to edit this secret so that it has some new value. So when I hit save here, what you're going to see is in a second, this secret here is going to, let me go one level back to Atlantis components. So this Atlantis secrets here, every 10 seconds it's set up, and you probably just saw it pulse right there. Every 10 seconds it's set up to reach out to Vault, make sure it has the latest copy of all of your secrets, and then it pulls those in. So your Atlantis secrets right here has just been updated just because every 10 seconds it refreshes. But that's not enough to get Atlantis to restart without that annotation that we added. But now, if we look over here at Atlantis, Atlantis is suddenly progressing. And you can see that we have an Atlantis 0 that's container creating, started just a few seconds ago. And I didn't do any proactive action in my GitOps repository. I didn't start any pipelines. There's no jobs running anywhere. This is simply restarting this pod because Atlantis has been informed that it's supposed to watch this one particular Atlantis secret. And if anything changes, it knows that it needs to restart whatever component had the annotation on it. In our case, it was the stateful set that we annotated and said restart whenever that secret changes. And just like that, this Atlantis is kind of a little bit slow to start. It takes about 60 seconds to start up, but in just a few more seconds, this thing's going to go green, and Atlantis will now have ingested that new secret that we made available through external secrets through Vault. And this story doesn't just apply to Atlantis. It's not a infrastructure as code thing. It's just a Kubernetes thing when you need to pull secrets in, or you have config maps that change for any kind of a dynamic reason. Instead of doing some additional script opsing to proactively be restarting pods, our opinion is that folks should be leveraging this great reloader tool. Just add an annotation of what you want to watch and what you want to restart whenever it changes, and allow that automation to happen under reloader's control. It reduces the amount of CI-oriented pipelining, or sometimes you're even tempted to create a container, just like a custom container, and leverage that container in your GitOps in order to do sort of utilitarian tasks like this. But the reloader application has really done a great job for us. It's a little mysterious. It's undercover a little bit. You'll see the annotations scattered throughout our GitOps repository, but we never really proactively interact with reloader. It's just some magic that happens whenever secrets update or whenever config maps update. So we just wanted to take a second, kind of give folks an easy view of, and it looks like the Atlantis era is started now, and we would be able to prove out with a fresh Atlantis execution that it can run Terraform and do all the things that it always did. And you have to be a little bit mindful of that too. Now, again, all we did in order to get that pod to restart is change a single value in Vault. And as soon as we commit it, we save. And then within 10 seconds, Atlantis is going to become aware because of Reloader that when it pulled in that external secret, the secret changed. And because the secret changed, it has to restart the pod. So that's a little bit destructive. You have to be mindful of that and only put Reloader in scenarios where you're allowed to restart the pod that's going to restart when the value changes, or accept a little bit of fault tolerance. But yeah, that's pretty much what we wanted to show today, Fred.
So just to do that, like to recap, we helm install or if you do GitOps, we put like the proper YAML file in our GitOps repository to install Reloader. Once it was done, I just updated the YAML files for the entities that I want to like have Reloader checked and restart the pods that I want to. So in Atlantis, the YAML file, we just had like the Reloader annotation. We said like, I want to monitor that secret. And when it's updated, restart the pod for me, and everything else is like black magic. It's working, it's reloading.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if you were to install Kubefirst today, you would get that same exact experience that we showed you with Atlantis. In the next patch release, which will be 2.3.6, we're also going to include Reloader annotation on Metaphor and the secret that Metaphor is watching, so that you'll be able to explore that same sort of reloading capability, but in an actual application that you deliver to your DevSage prod environments. So that'll be upcoming in our next patch release.
And if you're new to Kubefirst, Metaphor is their demo application, so small React application that does mostly nothing except showing you like how to use the platform, which is perfect to understand like every component, like everything you can do with Kubefirst on your own application, service, or whatever you want to deploy on your new cluster. So.
Yep. So Fred,
awesome. I like
that was a quick one. I know
that was a quick one. That was a sample one. And you know what? As I said, I still believe that like I love those kind of like libraries, tools, or whatever like application you can use that do one job but do it well, and like in a simple way but effective. And I think that is what Reloader did. So I think I just did not remember at the beginning when I said like I didn't know how we were using it. Actually, I know because we talked a little bit about it, I think, when we did live stream on secrets management. I don't think we went in as much details as right now, but by the way, that live stream, if someone wants to check it, we did that like probably a couple of months ago. Still really interesting to understand how we do secrets management within Kubefirst, and you've seen a small part of it today about like how we reload the secrets with different pods and different namespace. So that's kind of it for today. Just a quick reminder, if you're new to the platform, we support those clouds. So we support AWS, Cvo, Key3D, and we have in beta DigitalOcean, Vultr, and Google Cloud. I won't say on the live stream that DigitalOcean is going out of beta soon, because I've said that like a couple of times, but like it really should be soon now. We are working on it, fixing the last thing. This time is true. The previous time I was wishing that we would do it really, really soon. Now I've seen PR goes. I know that Jared was working on DigitalOcean and we're like nearly there. So hopefully really, really soon, DigitalOcean actually is going to be out of beta, but we're going to work also to be sure that the other clouds go out of beta too. And on that note, if you want to try Reloader by yourself, you've seen it. It's easy to do so. You can go on github.com stakeator /Reloader. It's open source. It's on GitHub. If you don't want to try it yourself, but you still want to see how it's working, go on github.com/kubefirst and try it with Kubefirst. As I said, we support Key3D, so you can try it locally. If you have any other question about Reloader or Kubefirst, join our Slack community. This is where the magic happens. This is where we're going to be able to help you. It's the perfect place to get in touch with us. And on that note, John, do you know why you should never ask a SQL or SQL, depending on how you say it, developer to help you move your furniture?
Why should you not let a SQL developer help you move your furniture? It's going to have to do with tables, and I don't know what the answer is. What's the answer, Fred?
You were so close. It's because they drop tables.
They drop the tables. Of course they do. Of course they do. Little Bobby tables. It's been too long since we had one of those.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. So that's it. Any last word for folks watching us?
No, just excited that we're going to be hopping on the live stream with Sivo tomorrow. Come check us out over there for sure. Yeah, I think I would love to hear feedback on these shorter utilitarian live streams as well. If anybody has opinions and found these to be just as valuable as sort of the bigger, deeper topics, we just want to know sort of what's valuable to our community. So let us know. And if you have any other thoughts or areas of the Kubefirst platform that have been confusing or could use a little bit of explanation, we're happy to do these short ones too. So.
Yeah.
But more than anything, it's just great to be back in the live stream saddle with you and getting my dad jokes in. I need those on cadence, so good to be back.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And we're gonna be back in December, which is like really soon, for the next live stream. We're gonna have interesting guests for the end of the year, so you won't be stuck with only John and I. We're gonna have great people sharing about their great cloud native technology. So looking forward to it. And on that note, we're gonna see each other actually next week, because we skip a week, and now we're gonna go back to your usual schedule. So see you next Thursday at 3 p.m. East, and have a good time, everybody.
See you guys.